Okay, some people have been asking about, they want to make their own needles. What I have here is just a simple piece of wire, been bent up with a point on it, and that acts, I've had one for years, works perfectly. So, what you'll need, first of all, a little bit about safety. You can't use this wire and use a grinder. It will take out of your hands, get caught up in between the rest and the wheel, and it could cause some damage to yourself. I suggest also that you must wear safety glasses, are very important when you're doing something like this, because you can easily poke yourself in the eye. You can get some dirt coming off in this case, the belt sander. If you're going to use a hand angle grinder for whatever, you need to make sure you've got safety glasses on. So safety is always first. So here we have a piece of what we call TIG wire. It's stainless steel, and the good part about this wire, it's reasonably cheap. You know, you can buy it literally anywhere. It's used for TIG welding or stainless steel. You have different thicknesses. I have some heavier wire, and you can make some up using this, but generally I don't bend these because they're too hard to bend, so you can have them straight with just a point on the end. So that will work perfect as well. But what I like doing is using the smaller, thinner piece of stainless steel, and you can make, out of one piece of this, you can make about 3 or 4 little needles for yourself if you like. Now, all you need is a pair of pliers. The size is not that important. In this case, I'm using a belt sander for metal. You can use a file and put the point on with a file. Don't use the angle, don't use the bench grinder, because it won't work. It would be too dangerous. So a file, maybe anything that you can use to get it round. You can use a cordless drill. Now put the cordless drill in the wire, put the wire in a cordless drill, and you can rub that against a piece of emery, and you can get a point on it. Remember, if you're going to use a cordless drill, have it on the slowest setting, because if you don't watch yourself, that wire could bend when you're trying to, when it's going around. It could bend and hit you in the face, so be careful. So maybe not a good idea for those who are not too sure about using power tools or any tools like that. Don't use a electric drill, they're too fast. This one's got adjustable speed, so it go down very slow. Alright? So you need to be very careful. So, what we do, we just get a piece of wire and roughly, you know, whatever size length you want, it's not that important. Cut it to length. Now, so it's a nice long piece, so you can cut it and trim it after you do the needle. So the first thing you do is use the belt sander, and this will only take a few minutes. So there you have a nice point on your wire. Now, I've cut this probably a bit too long, so what I need to do now is just cut it to a length that I can handle, and I think it's going to be okay. You can make these any length you like. So I've cut it. I've used my chainsaw spanner and drilled a small hole in it. This little hole will take the wire. Alright, so what we're going to do now, we're going to do that little piece on the end. So to do that, I get that, put it in there, not too far, and then slowly wrap that around. Now be careful you don't let that go, because it might hit you in the face, so just be careful. Safety first, so just take it around. A couple of times will do. Now all you have to do now is just pull it out from the hole, You can use other methods to hold that in place. Okay, so there it is there. Now all we have to do is get rid of that little bit we had in the hole. And because this wire is reasonably soft, it's not very difficult to push around. The thicker pieces are a bit more difficult, so we cut that off. And we have that. Alright, so all we have to do then is get that, and about halfway along the centre line there, just get that and bend it out, and there you have a simple little needle. Alright, a lot of people want to use corks, and this is a lot better. The cork won't fall out, and I've made these up. You can make you can make up at least half a dozen of those in about 15 minutes. So it's not difficult to make. All right. So a nice needle. I have a block of wood where I stick all my needles in near the wheel, so you're not looking for them everywhere. And it's pretty simple. I'll just go through that again. This one's been sharpened, so all right, I'll sharpen that one. So once again, just put it in there and just wrap that around. And you can make these as long as you like. It doesn't really matter how long they are. I don't particularly like them too long because they wobble around a bit. So pretty straightforward, not that hard to make. Cut that bit that goes. You don't have to cut that piece off. That piece there can stay there if you like, but I don't like it. I'll cut it off. Alright, so cut that off. Bend that piece out. Just tidy this up a little bit. There you have another nice little needle. So, you can make up as many as you like. They're all the same. You can have them different lengths if you like. And again, I've got one of these down in my studio, and I've got a longer one without the bend on it. But the smaller one I use for just about everything. You can trim your pots with it because the wire is fairly thin. It allows you to trim the pots if you wish. I don't usually trim my pots, but you can make it longer or shorter. You don't want them too long because they'll wobble around. And all right, I'll show you the photo of one of them that I've already done. I put a little bit of tape on the end of it to show me how far I need to go every time I check the thickness of my pots. All right, so have fun.